Hello. How's it going, people? How's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Saturday, by the way. Saturday, good times, good time to chill, good time to relax. Everything should be fine. I hope everyone's doing great. Everyone's chilling. Everyone's having fantastic weekend so far, at least. Had a great time. Everyone enjoyed the FA Cup as well, where inevitably Manchester City obviously won against Manchester United, and they are the not the FA Cup, sorry, but the Community Shield. And obviously, all the Arsenal fans are now going over the moon with that, to be honest, because there is some sort of a superstition that the year when the team wins the Community Shield, they don't win the league. So Arsenal did win Community Shield last season, but didn't win this season. So almost every single Arsenal fan who is nuts, I think genuinely, is now saying Arsenal is gonna win the league because City has won the Community Shield, which is actually genuinely, in my opinion, utter madness, and it's utterly insane. Not gonna lie. But obviously, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing fantastic to be honest. Having a great time, relaxing and chilling, since it's Saturday, late Saturday at the morning, Saturday evening. If you're new around here, don't forget to subscribe, smash the thumbs up, helps the algorithm. Don't forget to interact in the chat and all that good stuff. Hope everyone's doing safe, and today we're gonna talk about Merino. Of course, the daily Merino genuinely continues on, spurs on like it does every single day for the last 3 weeks, pretty much. We're gonna talk about Nketiah, some new links with some strikers, and some other new links because it's all over the place, and Arsenal are in the middle of it in a way, because Arsenal generally gets linked with players every single window, every single day, with countless of them. Like generally, like 150 players we have been linked with this summer, genuinely. And the striker situation is kind of a mad one at the moment. And there is the question, which we're going to try and answer during this stream as well. Will Arsenal sign a proper number 9 this summer? Will we sign a striker? So let's not drag this too long. Let's dig straight into it. Let's talk about certain situations, certain players. And we're gonna kick things off, of course, with Mikel Merino, which news came out yesterday that, according to Team News and Six, Mikel Merino's move to Arsenal will be done next week. So it turns out we need to wait for another week to get Mikel Merino done. There's some rumors that the price and everything, fee and the way it's gonna get paid, the structures and everything has been agreed upon around some random price as well. It was said that it would be around 25 million euros to 30 million euros, and now I'm hearing about 17 million pounds, which is closer to 20 to 21 million euros, which is actually quite interesting how they managed to swindle that. But we'll have to wait and see how this goes, how this happens, what's gonna happen next week, because they are starting to promise us that Mikel Merino is gonna become an Arsenal player next week. This will be interesting. We will be there. We will be sitting there waiting and trying to find out. And according to Conmarble Halls as well, Arsenal have agreed a fee of 17 million pounds, only 17 million, with Real Sociedad for the transfer of Mikel Merino. So basically, for Merino, we are paying the same amount we paid for Sambi Lokonga. Make it make sense. The final details are being sorted out, and then the player will arrive in London for his medical. Now, 17 million pounds on Mikel Merino. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with that price because it's nothing exorbitant. 17 million pounds, it's a price and an issue if we have any issues with the players we can afford to have, given that we pay double the amount for Fabio Vieira, and we have seen how that has gone and everything. So that will be very interesting. Apparently, of course, personal terms isn't an issue. Holy moly, that was out of nowhere. The personal terms are not an issue. It's all just about paying the structure and everything. So it looks like it's now coming out from everywhere pretty much that by next week at some point Mikel Merino will become an Arsenal player, and we will hear the infamous Fabrizio Romano tweet with "Here we go." Now, to be honest, as I said, I'm not against this signing, especially now that it's allegedly only 17 million pounds. It's generally it feels like a pocket change signing in this economy, given how much we spend on, for example, on Sambi Lokonga, on Kivior and stuff like that. And he's a good rotational player, and to be honest, he will be a starter at Arsenal's team. I generally see him being a starter at the moment unless we sign another world-class midfielder. But overall, yeah, I see him being a starter, and as much as Merino doesn't raise the ceiling of Arsenal per se, he 100% raises the floor of Arsenal. And what I mean by that, he definitely bridges the gap and the drop off we inevitably have when we make subs, because the drop off from starting 11 to the bench is genuinely quite massive. But that being said, it's nothing great, it's nothing spectacular, and it's nothing I am getting too excited about. Because for me, to Arsenal, at the moment, they are having 2 out of 10, if not 1 out of 10 window. We haven't managed properly sell almost anyone except Emile Smith Rowe. Lokonga has gone out on loan, he has gotten injured. Nuno Tavares has gone out on loan, he's gotten injured. One has an option to buy, one has an obligation to buy. Edu Nketiah deal is still up in the air. Reece Nelson is still at the club. Ramsdale is still here. You could argue Zinchenko and Fabio Vieira are still here. And we haven't brought in any improvements in that sense as well, because yes, we have signed Calafiori, but at the same time we have signed a player for a position that in my opinion wasn't the priority for Arsenal. The priority for Arsenal was attack and midfield, having a proper number 9 and having a backups, and midfield going for the same instance. Now signing Calafiori, it's all cool, it's all nice, it's all fun, it improves our defense, it gives us more depth and everything, but for me, money could have been spent there. 42 million on Calafiori seemed a bit steep, given that we signed a player who we don't know how he's gonna do, because never in football history when a defender comes straight, Italian defender comes straight from Serie A to Premier League, he genuinely hits the ground running and is out of this world. If it happens, fantastic, to be honest. Genuinely, that will be 1 in a million, but that will be freaking fantastic. If it doesn't happen, then again, the eyebrows will start to raise and many opinions will come out, because it was the same with Havertz. Many people didn't want Havertz, including me. Some said give him time, we gave him time. Half the season he played in midfield, pissed everyone off to the core of their inner strength and inner beliefs. Then he goes up top, then he scores some goals, he kind of has a decent part of the season, but at the same time, Havertz didn't have a great season. He didn't have even a good season. He was just in a good goal-scoring form for certain parts of the season, but overall, if you look at it, he wasn't that great. So we obviously not going to get rid of him, so we will have to stick with him, and we will have to wait and see what is going to happen with him and how he's gonna fit into Arsenal's system now in this season, because this season for Arsenal pretty much is do or die season. You either win something or you get out of the club, because for me, unless you win Premier League or Champions League or both the cups plus challenge for the league, Arteta has to go. Will it happen? Obviously not, but that is just my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see what is gonna happen with that. But by the looks of things, allegedly Mikel Merino next week is going to become an Arsenal player. Allegedly the fee, the first was reported will be about 25 million, but now it's being quoted to be around 17 million, which to be honest is very good if we manage to do that. And as I said, given that the money we have wasted on players like Lokonga, like Fabio Vieira and stuff like that, that actually is a decent signing, just value-wise in general. And obviously we'll have to wait and see how he fits into the team, how he integrates between teammates, and what is gonna happen with him and at Arsenal in general. Moving on, according to some reports, our Arsenal representatives fly to France to complete 30 million transfer. Allegedly, according to Now Arsenal, representatives of Arsenal of striker Edu Arteta have travelled to France to negotiate the potential transfer of Olympique Marseille. Nketiah on several players have listed the sale this summer could follow Smith Rowe out of the Emirates Stadium, as the club aims to generate funds for their own transfer targets. And this is the case. How money over the years Arteta and Edu have wasted left, right and center, being disgustingly unaware on how it's impacting certain instances for the future, in my opinion. Now we have to sell to sign. And we have never done that pretty much. Arsenal most of the time sign and then try to sell on certain occasions, but this summer feels different. This summer it feels like not Edu, Josh and Star have turned the screws on Edu and has said, show me that you can do your job. Show me that you just don't ride jet skis, suck toes, and do barbecues. Show me that you can sell. Show me that you can make ROI, return on investments, and then I will sanction you, sign the papers for you to get the money, to get the players you want over the line. And I know this, in my opinion, it doesn't fall that much on Arteta. It falls more on Edu and his scouting team. But at the same time, yeah, I think Arteta is very annoyed on one instance. Another instance, he's very, very annoyed even more, I think. But yeah, Nketiah has attracted interest from several Premier League clubs, including West Ham, Crystal Palace, and Everton. However, recent discussions have centered around the move to Marseille, depending what's going to happen. And yeah, Marseille are having a very busy window. Marseille have signed, I think, 8 or 9 players this transfer window. The Zerbi is completely overhauling the whole starting 11 and the closest reserves in general. They are just spending left, right, and center. It's actually kind of nuts to see what he is trying to do. The question is, will Marseille and Marseille fans, knowing how passionate and nuts they can be at times, will give him enough time to build what he wants to be seen? Although Marseille in pre-season actually are doing pretty good, so we cannot judge them on that as well. Marseille have already secured high-profile signings like Mason Greenwood, who most likely is gonna play right mid/right wing. From Manchester United, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, obviously holding midfielder, are keen on adding Nketiah to the squad. The Zerbi, known for his tenure at Brighton, is reportedly a fan of the 25-year-old striker. I'm just curious, if Marseille and the Zerbi want Eddie Nketiah so badly, so desperately, that they are willing to come back to Arsenal to try and negotiate this deal repeatedly, what does he see in this player that we don't? What does he see in Eddie Nketiah that we as Arsenal fans don't? Because there has to be something there for us not to see, that to kind of justify the fact that the Zerbi wants him so desperately. There has to be something. Just the question is what it is. Genuinely, what it is. I have no idea. If you know the Zerbi or someone, just show me what the Zerbi sees in Nketiah that he wants him so desperately that I, for example, as an Arsenal fan, don't see. Genuinely. Big up Pepper in the chat. Big up, big up, big up. You liking the new look? You liking the new layout and everything, how it looks? Try to do something more different. You like it how it looks? I have already made one. Already had one made for watch-alongs as well. Actually, it's kind of nice and very sweet. I absolutely love it. So for the Wolves game, I will be a bit late, but definitely gonna be there. Is this pretty much, yeah, 99.9999%. Unless he wins something, then I want him to stay. But for now, in these 4.5 years, he has pretty much done nothing and spent 750 million. So pretty much it's Arteta out and Edu out. It's an improvement on the old one, definitely, 100%. Nice. I can show you. You want to see the one I have for watch-alongs as well, or you want to keep it that as a surprise for the Wolves game, by the way? Now, keeping on Eddie Nketiah, negotiations between Marseille and Arsenal have been ongoing, with the French club initially frustrated. Nothing new, to be honest. However, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal have now agreed to lower their valuation, bringing the deal back on track. From what I know, Arsenal is open to rediscussing terms with Marseille after initially rejecting a 27 million bid and asking for 35 plus a sell-on clause. So 35 million plus sell-on clause. That for Eddie Nketiah is actually a disgustingly high amount. Genuinely, 100%. I would say 27 million plus 5 million in add-ons for Nketiah. I can live with that. Even plus 3 million in add-ons, so it cumulatively gets together to 30 million is okay. But 35 million plus sell-on clause is way too much. In my opinion, way too much for my liking, and by looks of things also Marseille's liking. Keep it for the Wolves game. Okay, I will. Now they can open discuss now the different structure. The precise asking price is not clear yet, so they still don't know the price. But the two clubs have been in touch and Arsenal can be open to discuss terms with Olympique Marseille. Nketiah had already agreed on personal terms, so no issue there. It's now on the clubs to reach an agreement. Interesting. Well done, Mr. Rowe. Hope you're doing good. How true is that Simon Adingra link? Big up, Midas Touch. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Yeah, that Simon Adingra link is very weird one. I'm not gonna lie. It came out of nowhere, it feels like. But at the same time, I can see it happening. Genuinely, I can see it. Happening. Simon, I can see it happening just because he is the right profile. We have good relationship with Brighton. What do you think about Simon and Adingra? Like transfer room, Arsenal are reportedly looking at Simon Adingra, and that is according to Team News Antics. Obviously, the Team News Antics, TNAT or whatever, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TNNT is a 50-50 one. Sometimes he waffles, sometimes he gets the thing straight, but at the same time, it's a weird one. It's hell of a weird one. There are rumors, but obviously that doesn't mean they are true. This is the big thing. And let's check this. Would you take Simon Adingra at Arsenal? That is the big question here. Because he would be around 35-40 million, I would assume so. 22-year-old, so he's another phase one of phase 5 player. He's another player who needs to integrate into the team, who needs to develop, and who needs to be bedded into the system. So basically, this is going all against everything Arteta and everything Edu had told us in the beginning of the window, that Arsenal want to go for more established, more experienced players who have the know-how effect, basically. But yeah, then we are linked with players like Adingra, who is 22 and pretty much have no know-how how to do it. And Brighton just signed him for just signed him for what, 8 million from Nordsjælland. In Premier League, in 31 games, he has 6 goals and 1 assist. Last season that was. So nothing exceptional. Genuinely nothing exceptional. In this instance, might as well keep Reece Nelson. Although Adingra would be on less money, so it's interesting. It's a weird one. I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. That's for me, because for me, we should sign winners at the moment at Arsenal who elevate the team in the first 11 and who elevate the team as on the bench as well, because the drop off still from the starting 11 to bench is quite massive. For me, we should sign some experienced and established players that actually we don't see that massive drop off and who also can step up at times when we need it the most. We don't need youngsters who are gonna shit their pants as soon as they see something big and they are challenged. We need experienced players who have been there, who have done that, and who have that, as I said, the know-how. They know how to do it. That's just my opinion. Genuinely, that is just my opinion on this. I will prefer, for me as well, I would take Bakayoko from PSV over Adingra 100%. But it looks like Bakayoko isn't moving. It looks like he's staying at PSV, so it is very, very interesting. Need Gyökeres. Still on the Gyökeres train, huh? Still need Gyökeres. Now, the current proposal is for... Now, back to Nketiah. We talk. Suggests that Nketiah's agents are currently... Nketiah has more than one agent. Holy crap. They are in France engaging in the face-to-face discussions to Marseille officials to finalize the move. The current proposal is for Nketiah to join Marseille on loan. Here we go. Another loan offer. Here we go. Hold on to your boots. With an option to buy next summer for around 30 million euros. So 27.5 million pounds. Which essentially means he goes out on loan, unless he has a season like Balogun had when he went to loan to Reims and scored massive amounts of goals. There's no chance in hell Marseille are signing him. This is generally like a freebie to them in a way. They loan him in, he works out, cool, we're gonna sign him, he doesn't work out, piss off, and nothing has been, and it's like it never happened. So this is genuinely another yikes, another pain situation. It's a loan with an option to buy, similar like Lokonga to Sevilla. He has gone out on loan to Sevilla with an option to buy for some sort of money. I have forgotten the value on top of my head. And we all know that the Lokonga got injured just before the first game Sevilla had. And genuinely, this is not building me with any confidence. Because most of the time Arsenal loan out players. They never perform on loan. They always come back very awful, in awful shape. And what would you make me suggest that I should start believing in the fact that miraculously putting in an option to buy should make them play better? Should change the narrative that they won't play better. That they will play better, sorry. I don't see it. It's just a simple way to say just loan him to me and see what happens. But it's just insane. It is generally, for me, that is genuinely insane in this instance. That would be a massive L. If only we had accepted exactly 27 million euros. Take the money and run away. Hide in the bush. Change your credit card address and credit card info. Put the phone on airplane mode. Hide until they get the player. And that's it. And never come back and never talk to them ever again. That should be it. But no, Arsenal wanted 35 million at the time, while plus sell-on clause while the deal fell through. And now they are just sitting and just praying that someone comes in and takes them over, helps them to get rid of him. Genuinely. And that is goals here. Just like TBR Football is reporting. First things first. Unbelievable player. In which world you would describe Nketiah as unbelievable in a positive sense? He's ready to take pay cuts, and here is the same thing. They also are reporting the same thing, mind you. They think that still Everton are interested, with director Kevin Thelwell being a big fan, and also revealed that Bournemouth have also inquired about Nketiah to replace Dominic Solanke. So I genuinely believe there might be an instance where at some point maybe Bournemouth or Everton come in for him and maybe try and sign him. The thing is, will they offer more or less the same or bigger amount than initially Marseille offered of 27 million euros, which is about 23 million pounds? That is the big question here. If they come in for him, will they do it? That is the big question here. That is the big question here right now. And will they even come in? Will they do it? Exactly. That is the big thing for me. Genuinely. De Zerbi is a massive fan and Nketiah wants him very badly. Everton are linked with him. West Ham has been. Everton has been. Also Brentford and everything. I genuinely want to know, what do these sporting directors, manager, and the club sees in this player that Arsenal, while following Nketiah for about 10 plus years, hasn't seen at Arsenal, starting from Haaland and finishing to this day? What we haven't seen? Him beating the Shearer's under-21s record? Or is he still living off that? That backheel goal against United 2 seasons ago, is he living off that? Mind you, this is the reason why Reece Nelson got the contract, because he scored a winning goal against Bournemouth most likely. It just makes no sense. Like, what do they see in Edu Arteta that we don't? I really would like to sit down and pick their brain in their like mental state and their thoughts. What do they see? I want to see the stats as well, and the video footage, quote unquote. What they see, what genuinely they see. The Zerbi may as call him the zoo because guy's smoking something strong. Exactly. Genuinely. If the Zerbi thinks and is very excited to add Edu Arteta to his team and he really wants him, I want the stuff that he's having. Especially when I go to work. Genuinely. It's insane. It is genuinely insane. In other news, I like this tweet mostly because just to show how other clubs move in transfer window compared to Arsenal. Exclusive. Manchester United agree a deal with Bayern Munich for Matthijs de Ligt, 45 plus 5 in 5+ year, pending medical, and also agree a bid for 20 million for Nossar Mazraoui bid to be accepted. And instantly 2 seconds later, and then instantly few seconds later, it also came out by Fabrizio, West Ham agree 15 million fee for medicals Sunday Monday for Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. This is how quickly things need to get done. Manchester United under Ineos can sign 2 players at the same time while simultaneously have 1 or 2 players leave the club. They can do 4 deals at once, basically. 3 or 4. Arsenal in the same time cannot even get 1 deal over the line. We are signing Merino for nearly a month. We signed Calafiori for a month or month and a half. Like, what is happening here? Genuinely. It just proves that if you get proper ownership in, you basically put everything in proper shelves, you put in a proper strategy, in proper people in their main positions, things get done, shit gets done quickly with maximum effort and maximum best amount of results. That's just proved in what state United was before Ineos in a way came in, and because what they are doing in this transfer window, they are moving in a way like Manchester United should be moving as a big club, binning the deadwood instantly and signing better replacements. Obviously at this stage it's really ludicrous to say in this instance because United has had a massive drop off in that instance, but the point stands. They're moving like a big club. Not good enough? Fuck off out of the club. I see you as a better replacement. You come in, drop the money and walk away. Meanwhile, Arsenal, I don't know what our strategy is. I have no idea what they're doing because genuinely, we got promised as soon as Smith Rowe gets sold, we're gonna sign a midfielder. It's been 2 weeks nearly since, week and a half almost, since Emile Smith Rowe has left Arsenal. Merino still isn't in. Next week it will be 2 weeks and most likely only then he will come in. We haven't replaced Aubameyang for 3 years now. Edu Nketiah is our backup striker, and Mikel Arteta has never signed actually a striker at Arsenal, like a proper gunsman out number 9. Because Aubameyang was here, Lacazette was here, he has signed Jesus, and he isn't a proper number 9. He is more of a 9/winger who drops as a false 9. Genuinely, he's not that bagsman you would actually need at a team like Arsenal to challenge. So that raises the question, can Arteta actually manage a proper striker? Because when Arteta inherited this team from Emery and Wenger, we had Golden Boot winning Aubameyang. And we turned him into Marouane Chamakh, basically. That's how he got treated and what we did to him. He started losing his hair, he was playing like Marouane Chamakh, and inevitably he got binned off. We paid off him to get out of the club. Since then, he has gone to Marseille, to Chelsea, to Barcelona, now he is in Saudi, and every single team he has gone after Arsenal, he has bagged goals, and on top of that, every single team that had Aubameyang since Arsenal has managed to sell him for some profit. Make it make sense. Because Arteta hasn't signed a number 9 ever. Actual number 9, sorry for the camera shakes. Arteta hasn't signed a number 9 ever in his tenure at Arsenal. Let's be real. He has signed, let's just talk forward line in this instance. Marquinhos, that went well. Jesus, Trossard, and that's it. And now think about it. Trossard was in January an opportunity signing, which has worked out actually brilliantly, let's be real. He signed Marquinhos, which should have been a free deal, but we decided to keep good relations with Sao Paulo, so we threw 3 million on the top. What he did with him, binned him off to he scored against Zurich, cried his eyes out, went on loan to Norwich, in the first game got goal as the assist, after that did fuck all the whole season. Then went out on loan to France to Nantes, did pretty much nothing, got called back in January, got loaned down to Brazil, and now he's pretty much not even at the club anymore. Then he has Jesus, who has a decent start of the first season. Then he got injured in Brazil with Brazil in the World Cup. After that, he got 2 more injuries, 2 more surgeries. He has come out in interviews, said that scoring goals isn't his main trait. And now we are without a number 9 since Aubameyang has left. And we are sitting 1 week since from Premier League kicking off, not having a number 9, and actually not knowing what's gonna happen with Arsenal in the transfer window. Whether we even gonna sign anyone after we sell Mikel Merino. So what are we doing here? Genuinely, what are we doing here? Who is anyone getting held accountable for this incompetence in the transfer market? Genuinely. Man United will be a threat in about 2 years. 2 years. 2 or 3 years I can see that. I genuinely can see that, yes. I think Arsenal couldn't sell their players because we in time past we signed many craps who will easily... Exactly! The thing is, we have signed useless players. When Wenger was here, look at our team, right? We had worse team than we have right now. Yet under Arsene Wenger, we have one more in the last 4 years in Wenger's time at Arsenal than Arteta has one here, being in 4 years and spending 750 million. Because Wenger never got that money. He basically saved us the money. So in a way, Arteta can spend now. Look at the bench at the time. We had subpar players who were not good enough, insane wages, contracts had to be ripped up and need to get sold. And we tend to sign very bad players also there. Now we fast forward 5, 7, or 4, 6, 7 years under Mikel Arteta. Bench not good enough, signed subpar players, contracts need to be ripped up, players need to be sold, and we can't sell none of them because nobody needs them. We have put them on insane wages, we have re-signed some of them to protect their value. But how are we protecting their value if we cannot even sell them right now? How comes nobody randomly in transfer window comes in at Arsenal and says, give us Fabio Vieira, we give you 40 million, for example? Because he's not good enough. He hasn't played at Arsenal. He was a bench player for Porto when we signed him. He wasn't the main guy. How comes nobody wants Reece Nelson? How comes nobody wants Aaron Ramsdale? If we have these super good, very high-end profile players who everyone wants, as Edu and Mikel Arteta say in interviews. So how comes we cannot sign them? Why nobody wants them? Make it make sense. We struggle to get Tavares out on loan, to get Lokonga out on loan. One has obligation to buy, one has option to buy. Both have gotten injured the first week with being with the teams out on loan. What are we doing here? Genuinely. Then you include all other signings like Runnison, Pablo Mari, Ryan on loan, Marquinhos of course, and other players. Like, make it make sense. What kind of shit is this? What kind of a team is being run here? Now that we are sitting bare players ourselves in the future. Yeah, that's the thing. This is the case. If we had proper players in, we would sell them. Because we would have players to sell that other teams want. The issue with this is, as good as the team first 11 especially is, we may be need forced to sell them at some point. Because with Mikel Arteta in charge in the last 4 years, since he has gotten full reign of the team, has spent his 700 plus million, we have won nothing. How long do you think Gabriel, Saliba, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Declan Rice, Ben White, anyone will stay at this club if we don't win anything? How long? How long do you think they will stay? Because they have attachment to Arsenal? It carries no value whatsoever unless you win trophies at the end of the day. Because if you are a proper footballer, you want to leave a legacy behind yourself. And at this moment, none of our players has a legacy behind them. Maybe besides Jorginho, who has won Premier League. No, Champions League. No Italian has won Premier League. Sorry, Champions League. And Euros. Maybe he has some legacy. Rest of them has nothing. And it's not a coincidence that at the moment, when Real Madrid have only 2 center backs and they at certain level is forced to play Chouameni at center back, they have come around and already started to sniff around, no Didi, around Saliba. Genuinely. They already are showing some interest there. There is no wonder that other teams are looking at Gabriel. They are looking at other players. Martinelli at some point was linked with Barcelona a few years ago, but at the end of the day he hasn't moved. But if opportunity comes, he might. At some point the penny will drop if we don't start winning now consistently. Because they won't stand for this too long. Most of our main guys' contracts run out in 2 or 3 years. And that generally means, unless we win this season, or maybe next season, right? Most of the contracts, most of our players, will be on pretty much last or second to last year of their contracts. Which means, more often than not, if we don't win anything in these 2 years that are coming up now next, 2 seasons, they will hand in transfer requests, they will accept most of the offers that come from big teams that are winning, and they will move away. We are protecting our assets, don't get me wrong, we are re-signing our main guys, we are doing that consistently, Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Ben White, Gabriel, Saliba, Ramsdale even to some extent and everything. But at the end of the day, genuinely at the end of the day, this re-signing and putting them on certain wages will carry only certain weight until for them the penny drops, something clicks, and they will start to think, I can't do this forever. I need to start winning, because this sport is about trophies, about legacies, and about imprint you leave behind yourself after you retire. So far, none of our players have nothing pretty much to leave behind. Nothing. And at some point, they will start to look at that as well. Because also for Arsenal's sake, if you think about it, many players are on 200 or near 200,000 a week. For me, once you reach the 200,000 and start going above 200,000 a week, it means that you are a winner, you have won something, or you are a player who carries the team, who can get you over the line, who can get the team over the line. So far in our team, we don't have any of those. We don't have a player like we used to have Alexis Sanchez, who can take the ball, genuinely say, screw you all, you can't do anything right, I'm gonna take the ball, I'm gonna take on opponents, I don't care 1, 2, 3, 4 times, I'm gonna go all around them, I'm gonna score the goal, and I'm gonna get us this win. Alexis was a brilliant player. And at the moment at this Arsenal team, we miss a player like that. Player who can pretty much do most of the things single-handedly, who doesn't rely on this certain system, on this robotic, lethargic, boring-ass football, which is played by a certain system with safe passes and already envisioned 2-3 passes ahead of the time like in chess. We need that X factor in the team, which we don't have, who is like a wild card. When he plays, nobody has any goddamn idea what he will do. Because in Arsenal, everyone knows when Saka gets the ball, what's gonna happen. When Odegaard gets the ball, what's gonna happen. When the ball goes to certain players, everyone already knows what's gonna happen, where the ball is gonna get played, and who is gonna get played to, and what will be the next move after the pass. Genuinely, we are very predictable. And the plan A for us is always that. And the thing is, we don't have plan B still to this day. And Arteta has been here for nearly 5 years. 4.5 years he's been here. And we still to this day don't have a plan B, consistent working plan B when plan A doesn't work. And so far nothing has changed as well. And that is something that is really bothering me. It's really pissing me off. And one of the biggest reasons why I want new signings and why I want Arteta out. Because 4.5 years, he has proven pretty much nothing. He's like our Brendan Rodgers at the moment. He gets us to a certain point, but he doesn't have enough to get us over the line. And so far, I actually have not seen an inkling that he might. Because we have been 2 times second, but at the end of the day, we haven't been in certain position to actually say that we have gotten over the line. Because getting over the line and actually trying to get over the line and actually being over the line are 2 completely separate things. It's the same thing as knowing what to do and knowing how to do it. Because knowing what to do is one thing. Everyone most of the time knows what to do. But rarely any person knows how to do it. Because how is more important now than what most of the time. That is the case. What are the chances that Arne Slot laps Arteta either this season or next? Maybe not this season, because Liverpool's squad needs an overhaul because most of their main guys that were good are getting older, especially Robertson, Van Dijk. Attack needs some improvements. But if Arne Slot proves himself properly this season and the Glazers actually invest proper money in, is it the Glazers, right? Yeah, I think it's the Glazers, right? It is the Glazers, right? Liverpool. The next year, not maybe this season, but next season, they might be fully into actually battling for the title. It's FSG. Glazers were Manchester United. Yeah. Never mind. It's FSG. Yeah. My bad. Yeah. Glazers were LMMU. My bad. Genuinely, just lost my mind for a second. If Liverpool get Zubimendi, they will be much harder to beat. I can see that argument, but at this time, Liverpool need more improvements than Zubimendi. Zubimendi will get them to improve them to a certain extent, but I still think they are missing about 3-4 more players. Just like Arsenal, basically. We need 3-4 more players, so does Liverpool. Liverpool also need 3-4 more players, in my opinion. Anyways, if the pain for you lot in this transfer window with Arsenal wasn't enough, I have some good news to make the pain even worse. Hoffenheim played against Fulham today. Fulham won 2-0, and guess who scored the first goal and the winning goal in this game for Fulham? Our own Emile Smith Rowe, of course. And to be honest, I'm happy that he is doing great already in the first 2 games for Fulham. I hope he balls out for Fulham this season and he doesn't get injured. To another level, I hope he doesn't ball out against Arsenal, of course, in Premier League. But in general, I hope he balls out. He does great and he earns that England call-up. That's my wish for Emile Smith Rowe this season. Genuinely, that's my wish. But so far, Emile Smith Rowe has been sold to Fulham. He has been there for 3 trainings. He has played 2 friendly games and he has scored 2 goals. So he is there off to a flying start, already looking and settling in. Not to mention the fact that he has built, of course, there are some Arsenal players like Iwobi, Bernd Leno, and together with Iwobi, they have built a very nice partnership. Looking at how they play, how they're passing the ball, it looks actually quite nice, very good. And Iwobi always looks extra happy to see Emile Smith Rowe do well and score in the both goals. They always celebrate together first. And in this game also, I think Iwobi assisted to Emile Smith Rowe. So at the end of the day, Emile Smith Rowe is off to a flying start for Fulham. Mind you, it's only pre-season, but it looks like he is gonna be a world beater today. There. Obviously, it's only a small sample of things, 2 games. It's only a preseason, of course, as well. But so far, it looks like he's settling in there very, very nicely. So I wish him the best. Hope he balls out there. Hope he gets the England call-up. Hope he balls for 36 out of 38 games in Premier League in this season for Fulham. Doesn't get injured. And I really hope he doesn't ball out against Arsenal in this instance. But to be honest, on certain level, I hope he balls out against Arsenal. Just to prove how awful, how mismanaged by Mikel Arteta he was, and how useful he could have been in Arsenal, and how useful he could have been in this system. Genuinely, that is also something I really wish there was a thing on certain level. Skip this, please. I'm gonna... You have to, man. You have to. Genuinely, you have to. Don't be surprised at Liverpool signing Gyökeres out of the blue like Neto or Chelsea. I don't think, at least this window, I don't think Liverpool will sign a striker. They already have Darwin Spaghetti, Darwin Noodles. As bad as he is, I don't think at this given stage, Liverpool will sign a striker. Even though they need one, in my opinion, they need a bagsman just like Arsenal. They will sign most likely Zubimendi by the looks of things. It's still not confirmed, it's still in a bit up in the air. But if they sign Zubimendi, I think that might be it. Mostly it depends when they sign Zubimendi. If it's, let's just say, by the end of the next week, by the time Premier League kicks off, right? Then I believe they will make another signing. If this deal doesn't go through till like the last week of the August and transfer window, then I don't think they will sign anyone else. It just depends what happens and what is given to them. Imagine if Emile Smith Rowe scores the goal that ends our title race. To be honest, it would be the sweet, sweet taste of revenge for Emile Smith Rowe, because I genuinely believe he was massively mismanaged by Mikel Arteta. As much as I want to, as I'm saying, I'm gonna say this right now, I will sound very contradictory to myself, but bear with me here, let me land. Emile Smith Rowe 3 seasons ago, together with Saka, single-handedly saved Mikel Arteta's job. Last season, he started to Arsenal brought in Zinchenko, they brought in Jesus, and Emile Smith Rowe got injuries, so he didn't get a chance to prove himself. He struggled with injuries quite a bit, then he didn't play. Arteta didn't put him on most of the time. He went to under 21s to Euros, then won it, came back, looked in a very great form, but got injured again. And when he got back to proper playing form, by that time, Arsenal and Mikel Arteta had evolved to such extent that Emile Smith Rowe just didn't have a proper place, spot, his own spot in a sense in this Arsenal team. That's how I look at it. Because Emile Smith Rowe can play in certain positions and do it very good. But unfortunately for him, for Arsenal, these all positions are taken and preoccupied by quote unquote, according to Mikel Arteta and many Arsenal fans, bare players. And this includes left wing, number 10, and arguably number 8 as well. So by the time he got back to full fitness, full strength, Arsenal had evolved to such extent there was actually not any room for him to play at Arsenal. He didn't have a proper position. Now, the thing about this is, and this is where one of the reasons why I want Arteta gone. The manager of the team needs to manage the team as a whole and players as well, one-to-one. They need to identify players' strengths, players' weaknesses, and find a way to integrate them into the system, into the team, into play style, to suit the player the best and to give the team the best outcome as a result. And I strongly believe, as good as Emile Smith Rowe was, as much as he could have helped us, Mikel Arteta just couldn't see past the fact that he just wasn't the profile player he wants. Instead of maybe helping him to get into the team in certain instances, in certain positions, or maybe allowing him to adjust his game a bit, he decided that he just wasn't good enough, he just didn't have a room here, and he just shouldn't be playing. That is what I also believe has happened here. I don't think it's single-handedly the fact that he got injuries, that he hasn't gotten much playtime, because there is no reason for a player to drop pretty much 9 out of 10 performance, get man of the match, and after that, see the pitch 3 times in the remaining 10-15 games. There is no reason for that. Generally, there is no freaking reason for that. Besides the fact that Mikel Arteta is such a micromanager and so obsessed to playing the perfect game, the perfect football, to play his way specifically, that he didn't want Emile Smith Rowe to adjust to his style. That's why he plays Odegaard, that's why he plays certain players that shouldn't be playing. That's why we still play Zinchenko at left back instead of having proper left back. That's why we play Jorginho many times instead of certain players. That's why we played Kai Havertz at midfielder spot instead of playing him at number 9. And that's why we haven't signed a striker. We haven't signed a striker, and we're gonna go into the season with a Havertz and Jesus partnership up top. And this is a nice segue into the thing that has been asked in the title of this stream. Will Arsenal sign a striker? As you can see, Victor Osimhen is off the books. We are not signing him. On top of that, here it is. There is a potential chance that Arsenal can sign a high-profile striker for just 30 million because according to the Times, Brentford have dropped the price for Ivan Toney even more. The big thing about Ivan Toney is, though, if he's 30 million or 40 million, whatever, right? And Arsenal have been linked with him, but Arteta doesn't like his attitude and everything, right? How come no other team has gone for him? Why, for example, Danny Levy, who's a very stingy man, goes for 65 million Solanke instead of going for 30 to 40 million Toney? Because for me, Toney overall is a better player. Which now raises the question, what is wrong with Ivan Toney that every single team that wanted Toney before the transfer window opened now doesn't want him, and pretty much every single link with him moving away from Brentford more or less has gone dead quiet? There has to be something into it, because at the end of the day, there is no reason for the price to drop from about 80 million in January to 30 million right now, and no team being takers. No reason for that. We talked about Nketiah, and here is another link. Arsenal have been linked with Joao Pedro recently, a striker from Brighton. Allegedly, Edu is a long-term fan of this. Now, before we get into that, let's get to the chat as well. Let's see what you have to say. Yeah, the meltdown if Emile Smith Rowe scores the winner and stops our title chances would be beyond anything. I honestly think that an event like this would turn most of the fan, but yeah, 100%. Emile Smith Rowe was a win-win situation. We must recognize the business side of things. I don't blame Arteta for this though. Exactly. That's how I look at it. I absolutely love Emile Smith Rowe. I think he's a baller, and unless he gets injured, he will do great at Fulham. The thing is, Mikel Arteta didn't want to see him in his team. At the same time, Emile Smith Rowe, as he said himself, wants first team football and still dreams to a call-up for the World Cup in 2026. So that means he needs to play, which means he needs to go away. And I'm wishing him the best of luck. In this instance, it was a win-win from club's point of view and from Emile Smith Rowe's point of view. I just hope that he balls out. He proves every single doubter wrong. He proves Mikel Arteta wrong for not playing him enough. And he gets the World Cup call-up, and he balls out there as well. Best of luck to him. Genuinely, I'm an Emile Smith Rowe fan. I watch Premier League every single game, just like I try to watch every La Liga game and Bundesliga game. I pretty much most of the time have about 2 screens with about 6-7 games going on at the same time. It's a weird thing I'm having, but it is what it is. But yeah, I don't blame Arteta. I don't blame Club. I don't blame Arteta. I don't blame Emile Smith Rowe. It was a win-win for both sides. I blame Arteta for the fact that he just didn't utilize him the way he should have been utilized in the team. Because the season 3 years ago, when he had the season of his life, was a perfect blueprint how you should play Smith Rowe, but Arteta decided to go the other way. So that thing I'm very, very sus about. Perhaps Arteta has more influence than we... On what? On what he has more influence? On what? Anyways, back to Joao Pedro. Arsenal have been linked with him, £40 million. Edu is a long-term fan according to rumors, according to reports and all that stuff. So, I opened the wrong article. Very, very sorry, guys. It's this one. Here it is. With Nketiah going, here it is. Edu is a long-time fan of Brighton star Joao Pedro. Football transfers, also I think it's football transfers, state that Arsenal still have their eyes on Brighton and Hove Albion star Joao Pedro, who is the Seagulls signed for the club record 30 million last summer. I would assume it would take about 30 to 40 million to get him out of the club as well. The one cap Brazil international, one cup, one Brazil. Lol. International bag 20 goals and 3 assists across 40 appearances in all competitions under the Serbia last term, which is actually quite good, I'm not gonna lie. 20 goals, 3 assists, 20 plus 3 in 40 games, it's actually very good. Since he is only 22 years old, it's actually a brilliant outcome. Just the question is where he got the FA Cups and everything and Euros. Yeah, 20 goals and 3 assists. Yeah. He did that in 40 games. Yes, he did that. And it's believed that Edu is a long-time fan of Pedro as Arsenal eye, a replacement for Edu Nketiah. Another aspect of this potential move which may help Arsenal is the club's excellent business relationship with Brighton. Yes, we signed Ben White for him and pissed them off at the same time with Caicedo. And remember when we wanted to try and sign Caicedo, and in the end we didn't go for him because we were a few million short, and the reason we at the end didn't do that deal was to stay football friends. And now if this is a thing, football friends, go do your thing. On briefing about Tony's attitude, why other clubs aren't interested. Yeah, that's the thing. Because we got told that Mikel Arteta had a sit-down one-on-one with Ivan Toney, who said that he wants Arsenal, he wants to play in the system, score goals, take them to the next level and everything. He said allegedly all the right things, but at the end of the day, Arteta has gone away from this interview kind of displeased with his attitude and personality. So basically he doesn't like Tony's personality. So what does he not like there? That is the question I want to ask him. If I was one-on-one with Mikel Arteta, he should answer truthfully, with no lying, like that movie with Jim Carrey where he cannot lie. I forgot its name. When he can't lie, he says only the truth. Basically, Arteta was being sit there. I don't know, to lie detector test Arteta was doing. I would ask him these questions. What personality he doesn't like about Ivan Toney? Why did he push out certain play? Liar. I think so. It might be liar. I think I generally would sit down with Mikel Arteta and ask the questions about Pepe, what went with Aubameyang, with Özil, what happened actually with Mudryk, why we are not signing players, are Josh Kroenke and Stan actually giving you money or it's a struggle, and all those. I would ask every single question I could imagine about Arsenal and why we are doing things all the wrong ways. Genuinely. I would ask every single one. Anyways, it looks like allegedly Joao Pedro is one of the players on those 180 pages on Edu Gaspar's scouting department papers. Genuinely. It looks that way. Those media guys in press conference don't... Yeah, that's the thing. But the thing is, if you actually ask a proper question / controversial question, two things. Either he won't answer, or he will answer as a politician to say something without actually saying anything, and you will never be allowed to meet with the manager again, never be allowed into interviews again, so you basically have to play nice. You either bend over to the rules they have, no Diddy, or you YOLO one chance and you never get it again. One of the two, basically. Gyökeres will join Arsenal. Where is the source? I need the source right now. Where is the source? And don't say me the source is trust me, bro. If that's the source, I don't want to hear it. Genuinely. But overall, the question was, at the beginning of the stream, will Arsenal sign a striker this transfer window? And to be honest, every single year, based on how we have done transfer business, my answer is no. Genuinely, my answer is no. Because if you look at just attackers in general that Mikel Arteta has signed at Arsenal, right? If you think about it, is, as I said, Gabriel Jesus, who is actually not a proper number 9, he's a false 9 / winger, who has said himself that he cannot score goals because he can score goals, but scoring goals isn't his main trait. Then we have signed Marquinhos, which we should have signed for free, but we threw 3 million on the top just to have good relationships with Sao Paulo in Brazil. And the third one has actually been Trossard. Those are the only 3 players we have signed as forwards under Mikel Arteta. In the meantime, Mikel Arteta has ruined every single striker we have ever had. He had Golden Boot winning Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. That went down the drain when he forced him to play left back, half the time CDM, come back to defend, because Aubameyang pretty much single-handedly carried Arsenal to win that FA Cup when we played the 5 at the back, 3 at the back in the first time. Yeah, Joao Pedro is taller than he looks, yeah. But yeah, Aubameyang carried us. After that, didn't show up to one training or something like that, attitude issues, he's gone. For free. Paid him off to move to Barcelona. After that, every single team he has played for has made money on his sale. Then, Lacazette. Yes, he was in decline, I'm not gonna lie, but again, he plays CDM, he plays left back, he plays another CDM. When we go on attack, since he plays CDM, we have nobody on top. So at the end of the day, again, he wasted Aubameyang, he wasted Lacazette. Lacazette goes back to Lyon, scores about 25 goals a season, and there he's lovely jubbly again there. If he gets put in the box where he should be, not playing the goddamn CDM. After that, Kai Havertz, he signed him as a number 8, placed him at number 9 through half season through, and at the end of the day, he actually scored some goals. But overall, Havertz hasn't been on a good form. He has had good goal scoring form, but overall form hasn't been that impressive. And then he signed, and of course then he had Jesus, and that's it. So he basically, at the end of the day, has signed 3 forwards in general, and it has pretty much all of them have been completely wrong. Except Trossard. I cannot say Trossard has been completely wrong. Because Trossard, arguably, is the most clinical finisher we have at Arsenal. And at the end of the day, no Arsenal fan is calling this shit out. The fact that Mikel Arteta, in his 4.5 years here, has signed no attackers. Only Trossard, Marquinhos, and Gabriel Jesus. Never gets called out. Never gets called out. It's like they have totally forgotten that, or they ignore it, or they don't pay attention to it. I do, because now we are talking about signing a striker this transfer window. But I have no indication from the last 4 years that it's gonna happen. None indication whatsoever. Because Arteta has had proper number 9s, he has ruined them all, then he has signed one number 9, 2 wingers, one of them has been good, one of them has been meh in Jesus, and one that has been a total disaster, as in Marquinhos. So there is no indication, no proof in this goddamn pudding that we will sign a number 9, and even if we do, that he will succeed. Because we haven't seen Arteta coach a proper number 9, who is proper bagsman, proper in the box, like Haaland, like Gyökeres, Tony. We haven't seen that. So I have no belief whatsoever that even if we sign one, he knows how to utilize him properly. That is one of the biggest scare and worries for me at the moment. Trust me, bro, is the tier 0. So exactly, that's like genuinely. Just like, genuinely. Source, trust me, bro, is more reliable than the Sun. 100%. Mikel Merino is joining. Yes, next week should be joining Arsenal 100%. 100%. Should be joining. Because that is said. Mikel Merino should join Arsenal next week because all is done and dusted pretty much. Joao Pedro is telling Arsenal need a backup for Bukayo Saka, and they actually need a number 9. One of the two. Actually, they need both, in my opinion. But Arsenal are an incompetent business dealer, so they won't sign both. They will sign only one of them. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah, what else is here? What else we are talking about? He would put Gyökeres on the left wing. Yeah, genuinely, he would put Gyökeres out wide just to play Kai Havertz up top, or put Jesus up top, just because he needs to a pressing player there. But as soon as you genuinely put in there a player who's a tall bagsman, nope. Because remember when City signed Haaland, right? Everyone was saying, oh, but that doesn't fit the system. Haaland is not the type of player Pep usually has, because Pep usually has small players who can play all across the front 3, who are quick, agile and everything. It will take long time till he fits in Man City's system, and he won't score goals. Remember Corey Jennings, the Chelsea fan, said, in the first season when City signed Haaland, Haaland will be the biggest flop this season. What Haaland did that season? 53 goals in all competitions. Golden Boot winner, wins everything. Yeah, it genuinely, he's not a Pep type system player. He's not gonna fit into the team and anything. And the thing is, while he had Haaland, he also had Alvarez. Two different type of strikers, two different plans in the game to attack. One of them is a proper bagsman up top. One of them is tiki-taka, introverting, pass and go type of triangle player like Jesus. Basically, Alvarez is improved Jesus, like Jesus on steroids in a way. Although he hasn't scored the goals, but he has better tech in my opinion. And genuinely, that's the case. Pep has actually two plans. He can play either top gunman up top in Haaland, or he can play with three wingers across the front three. All of them can play the number 9 spot. All of them can finish. All of them have great tech. One of the two. And they can do that because it's Pep. He knows how to do that. Arsenal, on the other hand, have none of that. We have sort of a number 9 who plays as number 10, who is a false 9, and sort of a can do the job. Not very well, to be honest, but we have to live with it. Plus, he is injured half the time, so it is what it is at the end of the day. Chelsea coaches said what Rory said and thought Haaland wouldn't work in Prem when they score. Exactly! To be honest, remember when City signed Haaland, half a year later there was an interview with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer while Haaland was still at Molde. And he said to Manchester United at the time for FSG, go and sign that guy. And FSG said, no, we don't need him. He's not good enough. Look at him now. Look at him now. Genuinely, look at him now. It's actually embarrassing. Genuinely embarrassing. Genuinely, it is pathetic, embarrassing. Arsenal are not most likely signing a striker this transfer window because for me, there is no proof in these 4.5 years with Mikel Arteta at the wheel that he will sign a number 9, and even he does, based on what he has done with number 9s, they will see themselves at number 6 or at left back half the time in the game. So yeah, go figure. Go figure at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what are your thoughts down all about this in the chat below, in the comments, because I'm ending it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Big up Pepper in the chat, Tamina in the chat, big up Midastach who dropped by as well. Big up to you a lot. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much. If you're new around here, smash a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. We are aiming for 200 subscribers before the Premier League kicks off. We aimed for 100 before the Premier League kicks off, but we have totally destroyed that already in the first like 3-4 weeks of doing this channel, and now I'm aiming for 200 before the Premier League kicks off. You have been amazing. Have a great evening. Have a great time today and tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. Big up Pepper. See you all tomorrow in the stream. Hope Arsenal sign someone soon. Hope Arsenal sign a proper number 9, a winger, a midfielder. And at the end of the day, that is it. Big up. Stay safe. Edu out.